effing God. I created a new deck. I'm absolutely in love with it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen me post with it, but today I got the final test print in and everything is in order now. And basically this baby is ready to go. However, I have plans with it. So if those plans go through, you may not be seeing a lot of it anymore for a while, and if the plans don't go through, I'm gonna be doing a Kickstarter for this because I feel like this is my best deck yet. I make decks for myself essentially. I just think it's fun because you can be the change you want to see in the world. You can create stuff that you think is missing from the divination market, and it's just so much fun to do. It's a lot of work, but it's fun, and I've been creating decks ever since I started noticing that I was missing stuff from the tarot and oracle deck world. So this is an oracle deck. I found out that I feel creating oracle decks is more fun because you can get to decide whether or not you want it to be a system, whether or not you want it to be like completely freeform. That's also fine. The box design, this is the first deck of mine that actually has a proper box, and I designed this myself, but I have to thank Lennox Reese from the creator of the Coastal Curiosities Oracle deck for putting it into an Adobe Illustrator file for me because I don't have Adobe Illustrator. She was the best. So yeah, the Brother to Brother Oracle is a deck that contains lots of different energies. Let's look at the back. This deck contains seasons, deities, locations, crystals, animals, plants, moon phases, and guides accessible to all of us. Not just for brothers, that's very important, also for sisters and anyone in between. And it was designed and written by me. And I love the box design. I already had a prototype in. I didn't know jack shit about box design, so I'm going to show it really quickly. This was the old box design, but the text was unreadable. I didn't want to show this, but I'm already doing it now. I also bought a kick-ass font that's way more like in your face than this one. So for some reason during printing, the pink became a little lighter than in the old version, which is good. I don't know why that happened, but this looks a little bit drab compared to this. This pops a little bit more. And this is a really cute box design because it is an easy flip box. As you can see, there's this ledge right here, and the box just flips open like that. So when you do flip it open, there's a little insert right here as well, and that has my motto on it. It says, "You are the oracle, the cards tell a story, but you write the ending." Now, as you may see, there is no physical guidebook included in this deck. There is a guidebook, though. I wrote a 130-page guidebook, and depending on whether or not my plans are going to go through, it's either going to be included or not. We're going to have to see, because when you create decks, you soon find out that the cards themselves aren't the tool itself isn't the biggest. Isn't the thing that slurps up all the money. It's basically the box that makes it expensive and the book. Printing cards yourself is hella easy. You can make a deck for less than $20 if you want. That doesn't include shipping though, but you can. It's just that for this, I really wanted there to be at least a really cool box, and that's also why if I do decide to pursue to self-publish it, I'm going to have to do a Kickstarter because otherwise it will not be affordable for you guys at all. It will get really expensive. And I've never been about making money with my other decks that are on my Make Playing cards. I make about... let's say that I make a nice small Java chip frappuccino of each deck purchase. So it's not like I'm getting a lot of money from it. It's just that I want to get these tools out there for the people that want them. I don't make that much money off of them, and I don't really care about that. But I just want to keep them as affordable as possible. And, you know, unfortunately, packaging really drives up the price. But for this, I just wanted it to be this little compact that you can just basically almost put in your inside pocket to take with you, because this is very much a deck for on the go. The guidebook is included in here. It's a QR code that I printed. I'm not going to be showing that because I don't want that out yet, but it's just it's a really cute way for you to get the guidebook. And I just took the QR code out because I don't want people scanning that yet because it hasn't been proofread. It's just something that I like to do for me. I like to make it as official as possible. I never really needed to include it in there. I just wanted to see if it works, and it works. So that's really great. So yeah, there is a really amazing guidebook with it that I can't show you right now, but you know, it does exist. There's, you know, a ton of information about how to use the deck. There's a ton of spreads. You can use this deck as so many things. You can use it as a spread machine. You can use it as a Kickstarter for your tarot readings. Gosh, guys, I really love this font. I think it's so fucking bomb.com. I love that the first brother and the second brother are mirrored. It's just everything, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so freaking cool. So yeah. Brother to brother oracle, heck yeah, I love it. So let's dive into the cards, shall we? You can see the little shade right here because we're still it's still in the box. That shade probably won't be there when I put the cards down. So the cards are square, they're smaller. I think they're about 8 by 8 centimeters, 3.5 by 3.5 inches, something like that. So you get a title card, and then you get these gorgeous backs that are like this really cute powdery pink with a rose quartz crystal in the center, and this garland of leaves and flowers, and then 2 feathers right there, because this deck is very, very much of this earth, very grounded, very naturey, just like I am. So, so the cards are the design is very, very minimalist, as you can see, which is, you know, which is a vibe. And I will show you how this deck reads. So each suit, because this deck has a system and has suits that you can use however you want. You can use it to kind of see patterns. You can use them for timing, all kinds of stuff. Each suit has a deity. So this is the suit of spring, so that will be the deity Pan for spring. It has a location, which in this case is the altar. It has a crystal, which I chose for it to be peridot for spring. And then it has an animal, so we get the bee. And then it has a plant. And these are all tools that you can very easily incorporate into your practice. It's very easy to do. They're not difficult to obtain. Peridot, however, for example, is a more expensive crystal. All the other crystals in the deck are, you know, range from, you know, very cheap to affordable. But, you know, like I also said in the guidebook, which you guys haven't seen yet, if there is like a tool in this deck that is not easy for you to come by, the internet is your friend, and you can search for things that can replace that energy to use in your practice. Or you can just prop up the card on your altar. So it's not just a deck for divination. It's also very much a tool that you can use in your magic work. I specifically intentionally infuse the cards with the energies needed for you to work with them. So on the cards, you can see you get the name of what it is that we're seeing here, and you get a verb. Each card has a verb. I wanted this deck to be action inspired because quite frankly, y'all, I'm getting a little bit tired sounds very negative, but I am getting a little bit tired of the stuff that's very woo-woo that's out there right now, where it's all very... and I like freaky vocabulary, but that's all very vague and that can be like misinterpreted. No, these cards are clear as hell. For example, the deity Pan is telling you to it's telling you to wake the fuck up. It's not telling you to you know, it's not telling you about subterfuge or effervescence. No, it's telling you wake up. This is, I feel, a very cool direct tool. And in the guidebook, if you don't even have to use the guidebook if you don't want to. I wanted this to be a deck that you could use straight out of the box. But if you do choose to read the guidebook entry, it will be short, sweet, simple, written well, and it will actually feel like a mini tarot reading for each card. So that was really fun to write as well. I never really experienced fun in writing like that. So that was a really cool process for me. And then each card has at least 2 or 3 questions for reflection that you could also use as a tarot spread. So you could pull a card from this deck and you could basically prop that up and then lay down 3 tarot cards beneath it to kind of get a little mini tarot reading around that theme. So this is very much also a deck that, can be used on its own, is strong on its own, features a light stuff, dark stuff, easy stuff, heavier stuff. But it also features, the opportunity for you to kind of mix and match and play, because I feel like we need to bring playfulness back into divination. It is serious, but it's not that serious. So, yeah, I really, really like the way it turned out. Like, the illustrations look so clean. I just adore it. Now, I am aware that I should probably raise the camera a little bit. But I think I'm just gonna wing it and go with it the way I've been going with it now. So you just saw the season of spring, the suit of spring, I should say. Then we have the suit of summer, and we have Freyr for lust, the ocean in a bottle for flow. We have citrine for receiving that abundance, honey. We have the narwhal, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck, for connecting. And we have a lavender for uplifting. And once again, I wish I could show you guys the guidebook already because it's pretty cool. But this is it's a very personal deck too. You may think stuff like, hey, lavender is all about soothing to me. It's not uplifting to me. Why did he put that in summer? And why did he choose that keyword? Well, like, to a lot of people, lavender is always their go-to for relaxation. To me personally, it's a very invigorating plant. So I like to and it really reminds me of summertime in France, in La Provence. When you walk past those lavender fields and it just uplifts you and, sparks that energy. So, it's also a tool that may help you see things a little bit differently or think about things a little bit differently. And it also leaves room for you to just, how do you say that? It leaves room for you to just also add your own flavor to things, like in a reading, if this were to pop up, I would be as frank as to say the author put this keyword there, but to me, lavender is also very much about relaxation and invigoration. So, use it the way you want to. Oh man, I love it so much. I did a first test print that I just showed you, and the box was kind of meh. I didn't think about box design that well yet. So that was a good lesson and an expensive lesson for me. But also the cards had, fonts that were all different sizes on each card, and it was kind of a mess. It was Messica Simpson up in here. So, yeah. So that, that happened. So I had to change all of it, but it was fun. It was fun all the way through. Now we head into the season, or the suit, I should say again, of fall or autumn. So we get Kerninos Hunt, we get Forest, Explore, and once again you'll see these bottles containing the essences of the seasons a lot, because I feel like, that's dope as hell. And I don't know if you can even see that from up there, but within like this tight line work of that bottle, and you kind of see this watercolor foresty landscape with all kinds of details in there that may not even notice on your first viewing, and I like that a lot. Then we get labradorite for grounding. It's labradorite to me, people, is like a lodestone. It brings me straight back down to earth. Then we get the stag, which I changed a little. We get the stag, whose keyword is evolve. And then we get elder for regeneration, regenerate. And as you can see, the deck is a mishmash of styles. So we get the harder line work that you maybe used by. I can't even speak anymore. That's how excited I am. I love harsh lines a lot, but there's also like more new experimental stuff that's kind of more watercolory. So I think that's kind of dope. So yeah, that was the suit of fall or autumn, depending on which part of the English-speaking world you're from. Then we go into the suit of winter, and we get Boreas, which is a Greek deity, the Greek deity of the northern wind, who devours everything when he flies down his mountain, bringing in the winter. He's the herald of winter in Greek mythology. Then we get Hearth, or Hearth, I should say, for warm. Amethyst, to help you unveil. The bear. Oh, whoops. The bear, to help you get into your hibernation mode, your little hermit mode right there. And then we get pine for protection. I love that. I love that illustration of the pine. It was such a fun creation process, and I wish you guys could have seen it, but it was very much me using new techniques, me trying out new stuff, me discovering what I can do on my iPad and stuff like that, and it was amazing. So yeah, and in the guidebook you will see that for each suit there is a little prelude page to kind of help you get into the headspace of what that suit stands for. So that's pretty cool as well. Where do I keep my extra card? Where do I keep all these cards? Where should I keep them? In the box, probably, that I designed it for. Damn, I'm such a doofus. Sorry. So those are all the seasons. Then we head into the other suits, which are kind of different. This is the suit of shadow, because I feel like no deck is complete without some attention to shadow work. And we get Tyrannus, which is the Celtic, I think it's the Celtic god of thunder, who has this sun wheel that he uses to create these really intense thunderstorms. And I love this deity. I have another painting, an actual watercolor painting that I did of him, and I used that as a reference for this digital art, and I think it's just so epic. And he's calling on you to cleanse. It's time to cleanse, purge. Then we have the subconscious card that's kind of in this heart-shaped bottle, heart-shaped vial. We get this violet flame, which is all about, that transmutation within what's hiding in your subconscious. And then we get a really peculiar crystal choice for the suit of shadow. We get the rose quartz, and I decided to I'm going to zoom us in a little bit here so you can see it's that flame sculpture rose quartz, because I feel like shadow work is all about self-love, loving yourself, because when you do shadow work, you are essentially working on your self-love, your self-appreciation. Then we get, as an animal, we get the raven. Oops, got to put it slightly over here. The raven for transformation, transform. And we get one of my favorites, eucalyptus for strengthen. And I have to say, this suit came latest to me in the process, and it's my favorite suit. I love all of these illustrations so much. And I'm just really proud of myself. I think this is something that people would like. And I can already hear some people saying, hey, I've only seen like masculine deities so far. The reason why is there is a plethora of goddess decks out there. And there's only one oracle deck about gods, and there's one tarot deck about gods. And I decided we needed some more. So that's why I did that. So yeah, it is basically also an invitation to kind of dive into, you know, some deities or some lore that you may not be that familiar with yet. Also, in the guidebook, you won't find whole dissertations on a deity and invocations and ways of working with it. That's not my jam at all. I don't work with deities. I look up to them. I love the symbolism in their lore, in their stories that have been passed down from generation to generation and that are still being passed down. So if you're all about deity work per se, this deck may not be for you, but the guidebook does serve as a jumping off point for all the deities that are in this deck, and all the crystals and all the locations and all the animals and all the plants. So yeah, that's so dope. It's so dope. It looks so good. It's on pretty glossy, well, it's not pretty glossy, it's on glossy cardstock, because square cards are a little bit thinner because of the width. And the gloss really helps protect, the gloss coating really helps protect your cards, so they're more durable. I've noticed that a lot of people hate glossy cardstock, but this is the kind of gloss that's, you know, not too in your face. So it's, as you can see, there's barely any reflection going on here, and I'm filming in the daylight inside. So your deck will still film right, your deck will still photograph right. It's just that I felt like I had to put gloss on there in order for the cards to be protected, and in order for the cards not to like deteriorate after a couple of heavy shuffles, because I am a heavy shuffler, baby. So while I was talking, we're now in the suit of the moon, which is all about well, you know, like I said, we had all the seasons, then we had the suit of shadow, then we have the suit of the moon. Because since this is such a nature-based, earthy deck, and since the moon has such a big influence on me in my life, I have a difficult relationship with her, I must say. I wanted to include a suit dedicated to the moon. So we get Mani, which is the Nordic, Germanic deity of the moon. Which is really interesting because we don't get a lot of masculine moon deities, and we don't barely get any at all. And it's really funny to me that in such a hyper masculine macho culture as the culture of the Vikings, the old Nordic people, we get a masculine deity for something that is considered so feminine nowadays, and I just love that, and I felt like I had to include him. His story is really amazing. He rides the moon across the sky in his chariot while he's being chased by a wolf that wants to eat it. But, you know, he always loses the chase in the end, and the moon gets devoured. And that's when his sister, Sol, comes in. So we get a feminine deity for the sun, which is usually considered a very masculine energy, who has that same journey across the sky being chased by a different wolf. And it's just amazing. I think it was a wolf. Was it a wolf? Once again, I'm not pretending like I'm the expert on everything, but I just really wanted to have that in there. Then we have the observatory, that's the location that's telling you to gaze up at the night sky, take some time. Then we get the moonstone for nourish. I did choose I have a couple of pieces of moonstone. None of them look like this, but this is almost like that moonstone that you see in jewelry, but that you rarely see like as a thimblestone or as a raw stone. But I just wanted to have that iconic glowing moonstone in there. Then we have the hair for focus, because there is a ton of rabbit in the moon pieces of lore all around the world, especially in Asia. And the hare is such a focused animal. I just love that image. I could honestly like get a huge linen piece of that to put on my wall. And then we get moonwort, which keyword is open, and moonwort is all about there's this really cool lore tied to it, that it was called Unshoe the Horse, because it was said that when a cavalry on horseback was riding over a field where it was full of moonwort, and they lost all their the horses all lost their shoes, and it's said to have the capacities to open up iron locks and stuff like that. So I just think that's so freaking cool. So I'm going to be putting that back into the box. I'm really excited, guys. Sorry, and I'm taking my time, but I really feel like this is kind of my moment, and it's fun for me to take you guys along in the deck creating process. With the suit of the moon, also we have these cards for all the phases of the moon. So I can put these up like this. I don't have to. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. So we get new moon, start, waxing crescent, expand, first quarter, act. I love that there's a lot of negative space here. I love using negative space. Then we have the waxing gibbous, which I adore. I adore this picture so much. For honing your skills, and the full moon for reaping. But there's more. Let me put these back in order, because I don't want to mess up my deck just yet. And by the way, once again, look at these gorgeous backs with the soft baby pink. I love it. So then we get the waning gibbous for introspection. Then we get the third quarter for releasing, once again with all that negative space that I adore. Then we get the waxing crescent for recuperation. So that's just, let me get that all on screen. So that's just really, really dope. And I love that this deck contains all the colors that I like, and it's just a chef's kiss for me. And even if my plans don't go through, or if I do a Kickstarter and it fails, I'll still have this, and I fucking love that. Then we head into the last suit, which is the suit of guides. And you will see that these cards only have one keyword on them, because it felt kind of tedious to write the name of the guide on the card, when the card is more about the energy of that guide. And these are all guides that I feel like I have a lot of like affinity with. For example, we have the fairy guide, which is telling you to wonder. We have 2 cards for unicorn guides, because I love unicorns so freaking much. We have the card called Manifest. This artwork has been featured in one of my earlier decks in the Warrior Oracle. And then we have a card called Remember, because unicorns are all about that inner child stuff as well, which I love. Then there's 3 more cards actually, but I'll give you guys a chance to gaze at these a little bit more. This one too, that Remember card, is one of my favorites in the whole freaking deck, and I just love it. So that's 3 of the 6 guides, and then we have the final 3, which are, let's see, angelic energies that are telling you to listen, dragon energies that are telling you to create, and the energy of spirit, the energy of the all-encompassing, I don't know, some people may call it God, some people may call it Jehovah, some people may call it their higher self, some people call it spirit. This is how I envision pure spirit energy to look like in my mind's eye. So it's kind of based on And I'm saying that because I want to respect other cultures. So I'm saying it's loosely based on some the way some Hindu deities are sometimes portrayed. And when I say loosely based on, I mean that. I just really like that type of imagery where you have deities with multiple arms or multiple heads or multiple anythings. Basically, I think that's really cool to kind of depict that energy, and then you kind of get that globe right here and the beard kind of flowing over it, and then we get the sunflower leaves. So much there. So yeah, I just really love it. I love it so much, and I just wanted to come on here to share this with you guys. Make Playing Cards also sent me another copy of the prototype because the cards in the first prototype had faults in it, and thank God those are all right as well. I just want to thank you guys. If you have watched this all the way through the end, I just want to thank you guys for viewing this with me, unboxing this with me. I had already gone through all the cards quickly to see if there were any mistakes, and there were none, thank God. And always remember, you are the oracle. The cards tell a story, but you write the ending.